Are we going to need, Scott, a stretching, say, of the Fed's mandate to get the credit taps flowing again beyond this? I mean, you say QE, but, the government doesn't need more money to buy treasuries per se, or doesn't need a backstop for treasuries. As you say, it's private credit. Are we going to need, do you see, we had Bernanke and Yellen talking about backstopping or buying corporate debt, kind of like what Mario Draghi or what the ECB does. Do you see that here?
Well, I think they're going to have to revisit programs similar to TARP and TALF. The TARP program was about $700 billion, as I recall. And then TALF was the troubled asset lending facility that was provided by the Fed if you got protection from TARP on first loss. I think, Joe, we should probably expect something like that. I think it's absolutely necessary. And, I've been saying that I think it would take about a $2 trillion TARP program and then a TALF program that would be as large as necessary. But one thing I'd like to just comment that Jeffrey said, and I agree with his comment, that we should try to avoid the unnecessary costs of bankruptcy.
Right.
But to try to salvage these industries or companies one by one is going to turn into a massive challenge, because every one of them is going to have to go through Congress. And, we see how slowly Congress has been moving on the existing legislation. So I believe it would be, necessary here to just say, look, we're going to set aside a slush fund, and it's going to have certain rules around it, and the administration, Treasury, the Federal Reserve can act quickly, because I recall Lehman, and the Thursday before Lehman failed, I think I was on Bloomberg, talking about the fact that we would have to resolve Lehman by Sunday, because on Monday we had to get to AIG, and by Tuesday we would have to be with CIT, and we don't have time to come up with solutions for every company. So, I think it's ultimately going to require, a massive program that doesn't have to go through approval for every transaction with Congress.